All right, maybe a little less reverb. How about that? There we go. Okay. Why am I? Yeah, I think I'm here. Am I on the internet? Is the music coming through? I'm live. Okay. Hey Dennis, how's it going? I just want the music to be like barely there so you guys can't just hear me breathing. You don't hear any music. Maybe that's a little low. Hey Mr. Woods, how's it going? No tunes. Hey Jason, how's it going? So, what about now? Do you guys hear any music now? I'm going mad if not. Very faintly. Yeah, I just want like, yeah, barely there. That way, well, I guess it doesn't have to go out. I don't know, I get people asking for no music. I get, here, we'll try it without. We'll go no music. I'm gonna have a little. That middle shot is sweet. It is sweet. I agree. Thank you. This is welcome everyone to this amazing intro. I'm so good at this. My name is Kurt. I am a comic book colorist. Welcome to my YouTube channel. You all have your own music. Okay, good. Fantastic. I'm gonna listen to the spacey music over here. This is End After End number 9. There's one more after this, so we're getting close to the end of the End After End. And but yeah, if you have questions, comments, concerns, ask away, or lurk quietly. That's what I usually do. Or anywhere in between. But how's everybody doing? How's life? So massage school right now, the lectures are primarily enthralling lectures about the history of massage and stuff like that. Like, oh, the Middle Ages, they figured out if you beat on people or something with, But yeah, I'm ready for more hands-on. More hands-on, please. Less the differences in thread counts and sheets or whatever. You liking it? No, I am. I really am. I'm kind of making fun of stuff, but no, it's fun. I forgot how hard it is to sit in a classroom. And yeah, especially like it's been a while since I've sat in a classroom all day. So I'm getting used to that again. But the class is cool though, and it's like the actual classmates are cool, And I have found it rare to have like there's not that one person, that like ruins the class for everybody somehow. At least not so far. Everyone seems pretty relatively well adjusted. But what I'm doing on this book at present is this is sort of this is sort of like base colors rendering, sort of like I'm putting some base colors on here, and then I'll also do some more lighting. And but I'm not doing like solid base colors necessarily. So it's just painty. It's a painty book. And sometimes we throw the lasso around in here. But no, like the line art's really loose on this, and so I just it leaves it pretty open for me to kind of mess around. It doesn't ever, it doesn't have to be super sharp or anything. If you can't identify that one person, then maybe me. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. But no, so far so good. We had like a study session. But yeah, I think I'm the oldest person in there by a couple of years. All right. And I'm gonna go ahead and dress these guys up a little bit. So what's happening with the rendering here, in case someone doesn't know, I do this a lot, but not everybody's. There's like no new people here, probably. But anyway, I'll explain it anyway. It's a levels adjustment, okay? So just a regular old levels adjustment. I'll make a selection and then set the adjustment to do what I want it to do. And then that will be, if I pick a brush that works, that will be the situation. Like I will be rendering with the levels adjustment. And so what this is doing is the levels adjustment or correction layer, as Clip Studio calls it, it's making it brighter and it's tinting it in some kind of way in this scene. But I'm effectively using the same correction layers on each scene. So it might not, and this is not, I don't even know if this is one I was using on this. Or maybe just because that's dark. Hold on. Yeah, this feels a little weak. What am I doing wrong? But anyway, it's just, it's brightening. And it's probably got a little blue in it, it looks like. Did I screw anything up? I don't think so. So anyway, it's a good way to get really fast, consistent lighting without working too many brain cells. I only have so many left. We have to keep them from all being active at the same time. Starfield tomorrow, by the way. I've never really tried a game like this on stream, I don't think. Well, I did some Cyberpunk a little bit, but not really. I'm actually doing like a proper playthrough. Or that's the plan anyway. If you don't know what it is, it's a space game. And I like space stuff. I learned about adjustment layers from you. I use levels adjustment sometimes on background scenes with a lot of characters. It's easy to render consistently without having a lot of work. Yeah. Like, it depends on the scene. Like, this is sort of like a night thing, and you know, if I was going for, like, strong sunlight, like, it'd be a very different feel. But for this sort of scene, it kind of does what I want it to do. I don't think anything I ever do or say is good in every scenario. But it is particularly good for that though, because a lot of times, you know, you're wanting to limit the contrast in the background anyway. And I'm explaining this to everybody else. That I know you know this, and most everybody here knows this. But by having the background sort of similar to itself, like in the lighting and in the colors, you create a really nice pattern that you're probably breaking in your foreground characters. And if you're like, man, this guy talks really slow, I'm really trying hard to work and talk at the same time. Using 2 brain cells. You saw a trailer for Starfield, it looks awesome. Yeah, and I'm going to nerd out about the lighting in it too, because like they went so far as to like you know, they're going to generate like a jillion planets for you to land on. But like the atmospheric colors and the color of the stars and all that stuff like actually just works like the physics work, because it's too many lighting scenarios to like manually do it, you know? And so it's kind of a form of ray tracing. I don't think it's ray traced, but it's like they basically had a formula that they baked into every planet so that you know, it's like, oh, well, the stars here are, you know, glowing red, and so that means that the rocks are going to reflect like this, and the atmosphere is going to do this, and so it'll be like, it should be a pretty fun, like every now and then I should run into some pretty cool like color stuff to talk about. You can't make it, gonna watch the replay. Torn between Starfield and Baldur's Gate. Yeah, dude, I didn't even buy Baldur's Gate 1 because I can't do turn-based stuff, man. I would really have to like, I don't know. I want to try it, but I don't think, I think my brain is opposed to turn-based games somehow. Because I've tried a bunch of them and I'm like, they're just, but normally, I don't know. My expectations are normally what screws me up. When I buy a game or play something, then you realize it's turn-based. So like all of my interactions with them, it's always been like, surprise, you can't just run around this game. It's like, oh. So that's unfortunately that's the connotation. But no, I probably need to give it a shot. Like, it's so universally loved in a way that nothing is anymore. So I'm like, hell, I gotta try it out, you know? Yeah, Starfield is just, it scratches a very particular, like, strong itch in my brain of just the space stuff. I was always into space stuff, man. And like, I've seen every documentary there is to see, I think, on anything happening up there. And this game just lets you loose, I guess, at some point. So it seems like the kind of thing would be fun to just zen out and chill and see what happens. And it's also the kind of game where it's very flexible in what you can do and that sort of thing, typically. So should be fun if you're the kind of person that watches people play video games. That's not everybody. Not even close. Mass Effect was great for space images. Oh yeah, that there was like so many places in that game that I still vividly remember the moon mission. I mean, one, because I played it a jillion times, but the mission on our moon in, is it the first one? There's like an AI gone rogue or something, I think. I might be mixing up missions, but yeah. Then Mass Effect got away from exploration kind of completely in the later ones. Not completely, but not like the first ones anyway. So I never. This one, was that 3? I'm thinking about one from the first game. Or I'm badly misremembering something. Wouldn't be the first time. Favorite documentary shows is Cosmos. Oh yeah, both of them. Yeah, they're both good. Yeah, this whole explosion thing is meant to be kind of visually jarring because this whole scene has been very cool up to this point, and so it's meant to be sort of jarring from a color standpoint. I get a little light coming from this guy here because his face does glow. And they're kind of meant to be in conflict here, so I like the idea of a little bit of this coming across. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're just joining. Pretty good, pretty good. How are you? Welcome. Oh, sorry about that. Phone is making noises. Uh, no, it's water. I do not drink coffee. I got Starbucks one time. And it was the last time. I mean, I knew I didn't drink coffee before that, and then they were like, "Oh, well, at least try this like drink that does, something." I wasn't. It just gave me a massive headache, and no coffee for me. I'm gonna check the script here real quick. I want to see like how big of a reaction there is to what is happening. What page are we on? Page 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, just making sure it's not like a nuclear blast that, fries their skin off or something. I have read the script through. I was pretty sure that wasn't what was happening, but just checking, just checking. And it's mostly nighttime here, so like I'm kind of imagining that you would get mostly just whatever the color of the explosion is happening here. For being like, not that I'm always being realistic, but it kind of fits the mood here too. And then I can crank it up a little bit too. And probably will with another layer on top. Sorry, that was actually like accidental color information. Coloring related. What is the Clip Studio Paint perpetual license thing? What is the update pass? You'll have to ask them, man. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like it's some kind of league pass or something like or not League Pass, but like everybody else, it's just another subscription. You can buy, you can still buy, as far as I know, like regular subscriptions or whatever. I think that's what I have. Oh, I don't know. I don't have a subscription. I still don't have a subscription. I don't think. I do on the iPad, but not for this. But yeah, I'm not even 100% sure though. Welcome everyone. One thing working on a monthly title has taught you is that you need to become much faster. Yeah, yeah. Everybody figures that out at different points. but but for me, I will say like there's nothing like getting the job, and like I've said this. I know I've told the story a lot over the years, but the first job that I ever got that was gonna be like a monthly book. It was a hack slash book, and I get an email from, I forgot his name. Anyway, he was editing the book at the time, or was gonna be editing this book, and he only had one question, which was, can you color a book in 2 weeks? And at that point, I had done no full issues of anything published ever. And I immediately said yes, of course. So like, that must be the standard, you know? Can you color a book in 2 weeks? And it's a smart question, honestly, because it doesn't really prescribe, oh, can you do this many pages a day? Like, people get worried about that. Like, can you turn in a book in 2 weeks? Like, and again, like, the answer should be yes. And there's nothing like trying to then figure that out. It's like, well, how do you color a book in 2 weeks? I better figure out how to do that. So, absolutely. Oh, a book was 22 pages. Sorry, like a standard issue floppy, 22 pages. You never understood why I had to program something so that I could press one button instead of two. Seemed unnecessary. Not anymore. Yeah, and that's funny. Oh, my ankle is wants to pop or something. Hold on. My whole like leg's asleep somehow. Nothing beats a failure like a try. Well, that's the thing. It was like, well, I'm gonna turn this in on time. Like I was just gonna not sleep if it meant turning it in on time. So, you know, it was one of those things that like I was gonna make it happen, and I trusted myself to know I was gonna make it happen. But yeah, you have to have a little. You have to have a little self-confidence. At least a little bit. And then maybe one day you'll stop having confidence problems, but I'll let you know if that happens. So far, no. Is there a profile that's used to make sure the print turns out accurate to screen color? I'm using, if you control, what is it? The first time on the file, hit Control Y, or you can just go to View Profile Preview Settings and click on the first USA CMYK one. This one to me seems to give me the closest thing to Photoshop. I'll put it that way. I know that it doesn't do reds as well. I do not trust it with like a page with like, I mean, if you got one thing that's red, who cares? It's gonna look red. But like, if you have like a red tinged scene with like deep reds and medium reds and some lighter pinks, and I'm gonna look at it in Photoshop because you will not get, like, clip shows you more saturation than you're gonna get in print. That's what I've seen, and this is my mutant power. after 10 years of, is this gonna print? Like, I can usually tell pretty easily, and but yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Whoops. I did somebody else. I'm almost done. Well, I'm done recording and editing. I've got to do like a video promo thing for it still, but I was making I've got a Procreate course coming out soon on like coloring with it. And where was I going with that? Something about the screen color. Procreate has like will export a proper CMYK TIFF file now. And I don't know when that started happening, but it didn't always happen. Because I remember trying and it would not come out anything like it would in Photoshop. But of course the selection tools are still the selection tools. I talk a lot about workarounds and ways of saving selections and using more layers for selections and to kind of get around. It's kind of like if you want to color comics with it, you can. Here's all the weird workaround shit you need to figure out to like that you're gonna, if you're used to Clip or Photoshop or whatever. So that's sort of the angle on it. But I did export some stuff in CMYK just to like to look at it. Now I haven't done a file in CMYK yet in Procreate, so I want to try that. But it's interesting how they handle it. Like, instead of like, they just don't show you the colors in the color picker that don't print. It's very interesting how, and I don't remember noticing that before, or it's been years since I've noticed it. Maybe I forgot it. But like in the red section, there will be a part of it through here that is an obvious shift toward orange. Like if you have any eye for color at all in the color picker. So they'll just show you, oh, it's not going to be that. It's going to be more like this. So it's actually pretty cool, I got to say. If they fix the selection tools, I'd be so happy with them. And we went several streams without me complaining about selection tools. I'm proud of us. but the streak has been broken. Wah wah. I noticed you use different profiles in your courses between PS and CSP. Are they not the same? They are not the same because they're not the same. Yeah, Clip doesn't do all the stuff Photoshop does when it comes to CMYK and print levels, because in Photoshop, I'll pull it up real quick and show you. In Photoshop, you got a lot more options, and like proper people that like know print stuff, which is not me, and really don't listen to me. But no, people that really understand the tech side, which I will happily admit I do not. I'm gonna pull in Photoshop. Oh, there's that's the thumbnail for tomorrow. But if you go to where's it at? Color settings. File. Is it file color settings or edit color settings? Edit color settings. Like, where's it at? Yeah, like, what do you call it? I can't think of this program's name. Photoshop. Sorry, Photoshop lets you know that you're getting like a 280 degree ink limit. And there's all sorts of other stuff in here for that, but I don't know anything about all that. And the other thing it does is, I don't know, there was something else on my, I might be mixing up my programs. But anyway, apparently there's some things in here that it does that Clip doesn't. And I don't really have a better answer than that, because it's not really my field. Not the technical side, anyway. At least I don't think so. It probably should be. I shouldn't say that. I should know more about that stuff. It's just that I don't. But yeah, and there's stuff I've learned over the years about that, like in general. But then you talk to somebody else, you're like, oh, they don't do that anymore. They haven't done that since '87. It's like, what? Really? There's a lot of there's a lot of information I think gets passed on in comics just because like nobody knows any better, and so things just keep getting parroted, you know. And I'm sure there's a lot of industries like that, but I don't want to use the same color as the bad guy in the panel right next to him. We don't need to do that. Why did you change Adobe RGB? I don't know what you're talking about. Why did I change? I don't know what you mean. The RGB palette is almost irrelevant to what's it's what you're looking at on the screen. So they're both like millions of colors more than you can get in print, and so I don't know that it makes, those are similar enough. I don't think it makes any difference. What is the suggested method? I can't talk. What is the suggested method for bringing color to a grayscale painting? It depends on how you do it. If you really don't want to mess with your values much at all, you can use a color layer, and that will not adjust the values at all. But your values have to be dead on. I like using overlay and kind of just sticking to the middle colors, and that way it'll subtly shift what's going on sometimes. If you pick colors that are too bright or too dark or whatever, but you can use it intentionally like that is part of the reason why I do that. You had to finish your book in IBIS Paint X? Why? Why? I gotta know. Where is that layer? I've got too many layers here. IBIS Paint X. Yeah, I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it. I love the name. It's like the names of some of these things. I don't know. I mean, Medibang. It's like that's someone that, is that a translation thing that happened? Like, I don't know what happened. I think of Medibang. I don't think about an art app. It sounds like a medical fetish website, you know? Medibang. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're talking about Procreate, where they just come right out and say it. So yeah, I guess I can't even talk. Well, yeah, welcome everybody. It's coming in. If you have questions, comments, concerns, not about the art or the colors, but about, you know, coloring or life or whatever. It's not their fault. That's where your mind goes. I'm just saying, Medibang. All right. What else? I think I've got 2 more pages flatted tonight. Or maybe it's 1. All right. We're changing scenery here. I'm going to come back to this. Actually, let me go ahead and fix this now. Let's do... Am I going to use the quick mask like an actual quick mask? I think so. So the quick mask that I normally press to just look at the selection, you can take away from it with transparency. You can add to it with a color. And I want to... Why is it not working? This is what I get for having too many layers open. Excuse me. So I like the values, but I want to warm it up a little bit. So I'm going to go with an overlay layer, the little orange. All right, and this place, I haven't set this file up yet, so yeah, the inks are actually have a little transparency. I think this is an issue when it has something to do with exporting from Procreate. I know he's drawing in Procreate, and I think if you're doing it in CMYK, I don't know, there's something else you got to do to make sure it actually comes out black. But what I'm going to do, it's on a transparent layer already. Yeah, it's already on transparent layer. So I'm going to just control click the image, which is going to select it all. New layer, fill it with black. And you see that black transparent squares look here. Yeah, you don't want that in your inks. So make sure it's black. And then I'll just merge that down and it stays black. Crisis averted. Inks layer, base layer, flats layer. I'm gonna rename this big flat. This is a simplified version of the flats, and then the panels for those that are new here, which is, again, I don't think anyone. Ink Slayer, yes, it's my new heavy metal band, Ink Slayer. That's not a bad name for a metal band. Okay, let's stop looking at these flats because they're giving me a headache. And I don't need this scene anymore. Are you saving or are you not saving? Okay, going. I'm just closing all these windows that I know I don't need. Because this is a different environment, different location, different characters, different scene. Let's save the memory, because Clip doesn't manage it super well. All right, these guys are in this building here. And we've got a shaft of light, if I remember. What page are we on? Page 10. Sorry, I'm checking the script for something. Oh. It's coming together. I need to shift this room around. That's what I need to do. I knew there was something on this script that I had missed, and it was the light from that building is the same color. It's coming from this place. So I need to change this place to match the color of the light. That's what you call yourself when you're doing color holds. Yeah. This normally this book doesn't come in out of order, but this one came in out of order. And I can totally deal with out of order pages. It's not a huge deal. But it does make things a little more confusing when you get your establishing shots after you've done the close-ups. So you're trying to predict what the environment looks like, you know? That's kind of what happened here. It's all coming together though here, people. It's all starting to make sense. Now, I was going to shift this around anyway because the outside battle and the inside, there's all too much cool blue. And it makes total sense if this place is yellow or orange and warm colors and whatnot. So I actually need to look and see how many pages I need to change because it's probably a couple. But hopefully we can shift this around with a couple layers and not have to. I'm not gonna have to re-render anything, I don't think. Okay, so this is the first appearance post blast. So this page will, yeah, they'll do this one in those colors. That's this one. And then we're right to 17, which is here. Yeah, we'll shift this around a little bit. 18. That one's going to be shifted some. And 19. And 20. Maybe that'll be a different stream. Go ahead and set this one up though. Do my pencil. And this is another one of those kind of symbolic type things, like outside where the bad guys are. The sky might be blue, but their energy is like pink, so that should let people know what's going on out there. And this is like it's like a dome, you know what I mean? So what will a dome like this do through here? It would do like this kind of stuff and then that kind of stuff. I'm thinking. Sorry. Cool drawing. Thank you. I did not draw it, but thank you. Maybe I do the beam first and then figure out. Yeah, let me do that. First, need to make it clear that the beam is coming from here. Like, just from a story standpoint, we need to know that. Whoops. And I'm gonna click up here at the top. And then click down here at the bottom. I should click at the bottom and then the top, maybe. Because it needs to be straight up. Or as close to straight as we can get without it. There we go, right about there. That looks very dramatic. All right, so I'm gonna we'll put a mask on that because I don't want to lose that shape. And I'm gonna paint this out so we can see that it's going out the roof. Make it a little bit brighter. We're gonna kind of color this thing like a lightsaber, basically. With the hot center. Make it clear, this is not, you know, a 75 watt up there. Something's going on. Powers and whatnot. Gotta give yourself a coloring break. See you when you're still here. If you're still here when I get back. Yeah, man, take it easy. I am, I don't know if I'll do this whole thing or not, but we'll see what we can get done. I'm going to select the floor. And again, like, sort of paint the light kind of bouncing all over the place here. And then they would actually throw shadows like away from it. Learn your perspective, kids, or at least rough perspective. I say that as I'm royally screwing this up. Close enough. And then we also have these guys that we can color. It'll help to sell the 3D effect if we, I keep saying we, when you're not coloring this page. Whenever we want to really create that effect that it's being lit all the way around. So the guys on the back side here, we'll light them up bright. Guys on the back side are facing it, not so much. Cool, cool, cool. And they're really, really, really small on the page, so you can kind of rough these in here. And those guys are facing it completely, so they're like completely filled in, basically. And these guys are like half and half, sort of. This guy, we're only getting the edge. That guy, we're not really getting much anything. Maybe a little on the shoulders. Yay. And now I'm going to take a selection of all of that I just did. The lighting, minus the environment, minus all of that stuff, minus that. So that I've only got that selection, okay? It's glowing red now. So I get a brighter color and intensify that a little bit more. Or you could, or I guess you could have just saturated it and intensified it on that layer. Either way works. Oh, hey, Jimmy, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. Well, let's see. I don't know how fancy I want to get with this. I need to do this on a separate layer. I'm going to try to get a little bit of depth in the dome here. So I'm going to start by like overdoing it. And then cutting away from it and kind of fudge it toward these things, and maybe it sort of looks like it's coming out that way. And then all this around the edge, I'm going to paint this out. It wouldn't be coming down this far. At least I don't think it would. And I think also just to help sell that, I mean, this is insanely powerful and insanely bright and all this stuff. Like you would get, you'd get little bits of, don't clip it to it. There we go. This would be really bright, let's say, along the edge here. And you kind of fudge a little bit of depth there. Perspective gets it's a little fuzzy, but I think we're getting there. My perspective, I mean. Good from the storm? No, it's really nowhere near here. The hit Florida, I think. I don't want it to be about the effect. I want this to be pretty subtle, so I think that'll work. I guess technically all of this would be a little bit brighter, but I don't know if I actually want to show that or not. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. Because it would reflect, if it's a circle, it would reflect direct at us, and then less so as we got up here. I guess you'd also get it reflecting like out this way. The tip you gave last stream about making your bottom layer gray has been helpful. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I do that a lot when I'm just to help keep the values straight. It's a little bit easier for me to start from like a single value. Alrighty, and sorry, I'm thinking out loud. Actually, I'm not thinking out loud. I was thinking silently. Yeah, how is the damage in, I haven't even looked today. I think it was a category 3 when it hit. That's not any fun. 125-mile-an-hour winds. Came a tropical storm not long ago. That's good. Yeah, those categories don't mean crap though when there's a lot of rain. Like, we've had like, oh, it's a category 1. It's nothing to worry about. And it just not move for a week. And dump 47 trillion gallons of water. But anyway, sorry, I need to reflect on the script here real quick. Give me a second. We got the big room. Trying to figure out who is behind her. They're waiting on something important. We don't need to identify him yet. But we're not necessarily hiding him either. I like notes like that. Anyway, if you're just joining, welcome. How's everybody doing? Hope you're good. And if you have questions about coloring or really anything, feel free to ask. Sorry, I need to fix the flats on this real quick. It's just going to be wrong every time I select it. All right. Gotta go. Nice work as always. Stay well. Thank you, Mr. Woods. Thanks for coming by, man. Thank you for your membership, too. All right. Where was I? Hair. Actually, I'm not quite ready for that. I really want to just do the light from this stuff right now. Because that's really what is happening in the story. That is why she is here looking a little impatient. So I really kind of want it to be about that lighting. And if I need to pull, I'll pull some color forward for her so we know who this is in a little bit, but and plus I'm using the lasso here just because the light is intended to be a lot more intense, so it's more like a rim light effect here. Harsher light, I guess you'd say. Excuse me. Sorry. Try not to sneeze on you. How's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And there's no way you'd be able to see her eye color this intense in this scenario, but it's kind of a signature for this character. So we're going to see it. Am I coming to Memphis Expo? Nah, not this year. I got too much going on. I'm already like, I think I've got more planned between now and the end of the year than like I ever have in my life. So the only con I'm doing this year is Thought Bubble, which is in the UK. Which is, if you're gonna do one, you might as well go halfway around the world to do it, right? Yeah, I've never been. It should be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. And I just want to give a little bit of indication as to her skin color on this other side. Or not her skin color, but just some kind of light. And hold on, I want that filled in. Maybe a little bit of a shadow there. And to also help sell the effect that like this room is really only lit primarily by that big thing, glowy thing. So that's the official name too in the script, glowy thing. I mean, for my purposes. Yeah, so with these guys, I'm not going to do as much local color on them. I'm just going to, we'll light them with the same light from the rest of the room. And that should pull her forward here, I think. And I'll probably pull them a little bit further off this background or push the background a little bit further back or something so they're not exactly the same value and colors and whatnot. And they're both framing her here a little bit, so I'm kind of coloring them with that in mind. Like, so I'm similar sort of patterns of values and colors on both these guys, so that way neither one really like leaps off the page at you, and they both kind of become part of the background because they are part of the background. And just enough rendering on them to like give them a little bit of form. Something's going on there, but that's about it. Help me understand how you make a decision like leaving out the color on something. I never feel comfortable at least giving them general flat colors. Help me understand how I make a decision. I mean, in this case, they're background elements. And this is a really moody, kind of important cinematic scene in the book. And so as the drama is building up, I am sort of limiting the palette more and more. And it's kind of a way of, you know, building tension with the color, basically. So that's why I don't really have an issue, like, I don't really like that. That's why I don't really have an issue with, you know, not doing anything more here, because, I mean, from a realism standpoint, and this is not all realism, but if your environment's not lit but from anything but one really strong light like this, you know, you're not going to get these, especially this intense, you know, warm yellow orange light. Like, you're not going to get intense saturated colors unless you're making them that way just for story reasons. You know, you just want, or for graphic reasons. It's a comic book. You want, you know, a red guy's cape is red, regardless, you know, of like what the light is, you know. But it's about the point. It's the intention. I'm making this decision here because they're background elements and not foreground elements. You know, I'm not going to color her the same way. And I'm not going to color her in the exact same style. You know, that's going to be a little bit chunkier contrast, you know. Does that make sense? Maybe a little. It's probably the hardest thing to understand as a beginner colorist is to stop thinking literally. And remember too, of course, it depends on the book. This isn't some like big anti-local color rant. I mean, you say anything on the internet, someone's going to twist it into something else. But like, you know, there are books where, you know, the costume is red and blue. The costume is red and blue. And if you do anything else, you might get told that the costume is red and blue, or, you know, green and yellow, or whatever it is, you know. And there are places that, you know, allow a lot more freedom. And there are stories that allow for more freedom, you know. You know, superhero books, you're not just selling the book, you know, you're selling the guy that is on the toy that looks like the poster, that looks like, you know, the Lego set. So you can't get too out there with your color choices on some things, covers and whatnot, maybe. Yeah, it's kind of like I get the question sometimes like, oh, well, you must really have a hard time coloring this, or you must hate coloring this thing, or whatever. Like, ultimately, there's not a single panel where there's not something that is intended to be the focal area of that panel and something is intended to be the background. And even if you've got, you know, a stadium with 9,000 people drawn on there, it's like you still have to simplify that into that is, you know, a big shape that is supporting something else. You know, if you start thinking about like, oh, there's 9 million things happening in this panel, it's like you then simplify it. And most of the time, what the artist has done is simplified it into shapes. That's their job, you know. But I see a lot of beginner colorists kind of fighting that sometimes because either they don't recognize what's happening on the page as intentional, or, you know. So I don't know. Everybody's got a different take on it, you know. All right, I tell you what, I'm gonna. How we doing? Hour 25. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here for now. I need to take a break anyway. But this page is a little bit more work to do. A lot more work left to do on it. But I gotta wrap this one up for now, I think. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Tomorrow night is Starfield release, so I'm gonna hop on about 30 minutes before the game comes out, and then Skash or yammer or chat to y'all or whatever is going on for about 20 30 minutes, and then hopefully it all works. Hopefully the launch works. It's a single player game but connects to the internet, so who knows. I'm looking forward to it. Any questions before we wrap this up today? Thank you all again for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks, Dennis. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, let me show you guys what I've been working on here. Hold on. Let me see. Let me check something real quick. Studio mode. What happens when we... Oh, I think it's going now. Yeah, here we go. How's this for high tech? I think this should be a better place for it. I'll scoot over or scoot my camera over, one or the other. Now it's serious streaming business now. Anyway, should be fun. I'm gonna enjoy it. if no one else does. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see y'all next time.